Hey, what's up, everybody? This Tone Set of Sports channel. Anthony Fallon, I'm back again. We're gonna talk about some NFC East. We're just gonna talk about football. Period. Just I'm just gonna drop a couple of things um, that especially what's been the buzz on sports media channels and stuff like that, and talk about the up and coming draft. We got free agency coming up. Let's see what's going to happen there. I'm about my team is Dallas Cowboys, and they still talking about either cutting Dez or him taking a pay cut or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But either way, that I'm not even gonna talk about that really. I might dive into it, but I'm not. Um, but let's talk about the NFC East, and this is something I want to talk about. That this is a trend that's been going on for a couple of seasons now, for a few seasons, to be honest with you. But really, you want to really take the trend from this season that passed and the season before. Really, it was almost like the NFC South when. And matter of fact, NFC South, it's the trend is still going. In the NFC South, the trend has been going a lot longer. Is when one team, the team that in one season that ended at the very bottom of that season, going into the next season with the right draft picks, they ended up being on top. And as a matter of fact, it happened again this year with the Saints. It happened with the Saints this year because I don't know if they was at the bottom, but they damn sure wasn't at the top because you had Atlanta, Carolina. I think they was last in the NFC South last year. Because I think they got beat up by Tampa too. It was Saints last year. It was Tampa. It was Tampa the year before that. Even though the Tampa's did, I don't know if they made it to the playoffs. I don't think they did. But they came up some. Their level of play came up some with a few draft picks or whatever. But it was a trend like that going on. Even when the Saints won the Super Bowl the year before that, the Saints were garbage. And then in Carolina, and then Atlanta, and they kept switching. Like whoever was at the bottom ended up being on top. And now take that over to the NFC East. Now you look at the 2016 season. Look, the season before that, we ended up being 1-15, right? No Romo. The backup quarterbacks with some garbage and shit. We didn't have DeMarco. We had got rid of DeMarco Murray. And all of that. So we ended up 1-15, and so therefore coming into that was 2015. Now coming into the 2016, we drafted Dak, we drafted Zeke. You know what I'm saying? And the year before that, we had bolstered up our offensive line. You know what I'm saying? With some draft acquisitions. With a couple of draft picks with Fredericks and all of them. So we had. So going into the 2016, we had a offensive line that was well improved and that had played together for a full season before that. No, 2 years before that. That's my fault. Yeah, 2 years before that, and so they was in their prime. The 2016 season. So now, therefore, Romo got hurt. Dak comes in preseason. Ezekiel ended up being our primary playmaker on the team, with Dez as as our most dominant threat in the passing game and whatnot. And so we was at the bottom. We came in at the bottom. Had a high draft pick, and we went 13-1 with the right draft picks. That's particularly Ezekiel Elliott and having a quality backup, someone to groom, and Dak Prescott. And so we went on this run. Made it to the playoffs, but we got knocked out. That was our best chance at the Super Bowl right there. Um, because now you take it to the 2017 season, and look, Eagles was at the bottom. Eagles was at the bottom, and look at what happened to the Eagles. Eagles made some right draft picks, got some draft picks, but their thing was free agency because they went and got Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffries, whatnot. I can't remember who they picked through the draft or whatever, but that don't even matter. But also got a quality backup in Nick Foles, that played that had a career with them prior to Carson Wentz, and since they was at the bottom, the 2016, 2017, they came in and lit it up. And not only lit it up, but they took it all. They took the championship from the New England Patriots. That was there. That was in the Super Bowl the year before. That was more than likely to win it, but Eagles proved them wrong. And then what is it about the NFC East teams that New England has a problem with? Because the last NFC East team that they faced was the Giants, and Giants beat them twice, and now they lost to Philly for the third time. So something about the NFC East, I guess, is because of the competition. You know, within that division, we all fighting like crabs in a barrel. One get to the top, we pull them down the next year, and then someone else rises up and pull them down. And so you can guess that trend is kind of like going in the NFC East now. Like right now, like I was talking about, the NFC South has been trending like that for years now. So leading up to this, now you look at who was at the bottom this year. New York Giants. I hate the Giants. I hate the Giants more than I hate the Redskins, because Giants just have this mental toughness thing about them, that I don't know, that just that hard nose. I'm not gonna quit. Because they'll fuck up the whole first half of the season, and then all of a sudden they go on this run, and next thing you know they're going on this run in the playoffs, and next thing you know they're in the Super Bowl, and they might win the Super Bowl with Eli Manning behind the helm. It's just the way they are. Because you remember those times with Parcells, man, and no, not with Parcells. I don't think. I think it was Whitman. I meant Garrett, but when Garrett first became coach, it might have been with Parcells, man. It was Philly and it was Giants that was keeping us out of the playoffs. We needed those games at the end of the season. It was either Philly or Giants. We always played one. There was that last game of the season. It was one of the two that always kept us out. So a few years ago. So now you look at the Giants now, and you hear them on sports media talking about getting a quarterback. I don't think there's anything wrong with Eli Manning. I think they needed an offensive line and they needed a running back. Now they may or may not get Saquon Barkley, but they really could use Saquon Barkley, because they haven't had an explosive back like that probably since Tiki, to be honest with you, in his prime, in a long time. So that's been a while now. But if they don't get the running back, because they talking about the Browns might get Saquon Barkley, and I don't see why the Browns wouldn't get Saquon Barkley at the same time, because goddamn, I mean, you just fucking drafted, excuse my language, you just drafted a rookie quarterback in Pfizer. And now they either talking about Saquon Barkley or Josh Allen, or one of those damn quarterbacks that's coming out this year. Why would you do that? I mean, damn, that's what Hugh Jackson's there for. He's supposed to be like quote unquote like offensive guru, quarterback whisperer. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So let him work on Pfizer. And another just I just want just put the Giants thing on pause real quick. But I also want to talk about the whole Brown situation. They doing shit like analytics, like they doing in the NBA now, and definitely what they did doing in the Major League Baseball league. You remember when the Oakland A's started that whole trend, just going off of player stats and stuff like that, and putting them together to where it worked to a certain extent because there's always the element of like team chemistry. It's just that, just that hidden intangible factors that just pretty much instinct of just like coaching, just being in a moment and stuff that you don't have stats for. You don't have stats for that, for like team chemistry and such, just instinct and stuff like that. You don't have stats, like you don't have stats for that. And so it would never work in the NFL, and it won't work, and it's not working in the NBA because and that's why a lot of these coaches are losing their jobs because they're not keeping up with the analytics of things. So uh, so I don't know it all depends on who the Browns going to draft if the Giants get Saquon Barkley, but they also need a left tackle. They definitely need that. And probably can show up that offensive few places in the offensive line, some depth as far as the backups go. And that's all Eli Manning need. I mean, because you already got OBJ, and you got Ingram, and then you got Sterling. I don't know if Brandon Marshall's going to come back, but they probably can pick up another wide receiver if they don't already have one on their depth chart, that can fill in. So, excuse me. So yeah, that's all the Giants really need. Of course, showing up, the defense. They might have some new corners and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure if they're gonna get rid of Jack Rabbit and all those guys. So that might be the only downfall is if they draft some corners and have some rookie corners in the backfield as starting or whatnot. But definitely, the Giants is only a few pieces away, and I would not be surprised if they draft right. If the Giants draft right, that they will be number one in the NFC East, or they be rivaling, Philly, Dallas. Hopefully, we will be right there, Philly and Dallas. For the top of the NFC East, or even a wild card, because usually they come in as a wild card and they go on a run. So that's the only thing that's scary about the NFC East. Is who's next. That's the thing. Okay, so yeah, but it's also interesting in what Washington Redskins. What are they gonna do? I know they got Alex Smith, and they're gonna more than likely get rid of Kirk Cousins, so they're not gonna re-sign him. But they have some pieces though. I think only thing with the Washington Redskins, they need an O line too, because remember they went to Seattle with like backups as an O line and went and whipped Seattle's ass. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the Washington Redskins gonna do, even though I'm not even worried about them. But I like Josh Dodson. I like Terrell Pryor, but I thought Terrell Pryor should have stayed in Cleveland. I mean, because that's where you had your success, and you just pretty much followed the money for the most part on that one. I guess Cleveland wouldn't pay you the money. I mean, I don't blame you, bro. But you had a breakout year in 2016 with Cleveland. So don't know. He didn't play much last year, and all that cost Kirk Cousins his job at Washington. To be honest with you, I mean, but they did let go of Deshaun Watson and Pierre Garçon, 2,000-yard receivers, um, going into the 2017 season. So yeah, that'll hurt you. Plus, Jordan Reed can't stay healthy, but that's not the case because Vernon Davis came in and did an awesome job. So they really didn't have much of a drop off, other than the fact that Jordan Reed is just younger. But Vernon Davis still got some speed. You remember he was like one of the fastest tight ends that come through. He was running like a 4.4, 4.3, 4.4, something like that. When he came in as a rookie. So yeah. I just wanted to give a little rundown on that. Just have some football talk. But I'm going to talk about some other teams too later on. So, but for right now, I'm going to end it right here. I didn't really have much to say. I'm tired. I've been painting all day, doing some stuff around the house. But yeah, I'm exhausted a little bit. Ready for some food. Well, anyway, this Tone Setter Sports Channel. I'm Anthony Fallon. Peace. I'm out.